Brad.
Hey, I'm Adam.
Adam, nice to meet you, buddy.
You're Brad.
Yes, sir.
You run this joint?
I run this joint.
This is Sandy's. Well, Sandy, your engine's here. Brad does your engines?
Yeah, he's built a few. I have one of your old timers from, what was it, Bob
Lambeck?
Bob Lambeck
Yep.
Racing out in Northridge.
Northridge, yep.
Motor's still running strong.
Good.
Haven't been on the track or anything with it, so you got a solid build there, as far as you know. But we're here to catch a dyno run of the Ripper's motor. We had a little trouble with it, and had to do some rework, and back for the heavy-duty dyno pull.
So we're going to put it on the dyno today and see what it's pulling. How many cubic inches is it?
That motor's a 331, as far as you know.
Right.
And I think when we were here last time, we made, what, about 310 at 5,500 RPM?
Yeah, something like that. It was pretty
All right, so we're looking to beat that. He's kidding.
So if we can make
more
like
than
400,
that.
it'd be in good shape.
Business looks pretty robust considering the economy.
It hasn't, knock on wood, it hasn't hit us. Last year was the best year we've ever had,
Well-
believe it or not.
Well, I had, what, two motors roll through
Two
here?
motors here. I mean, you can see our shop usually is immaculately clean. We have stuff everywhere here right now.
But isn't it, I'm trying to figure this one out because I know there's certain, people cut back on what
fun
they would
stuff.
call the fun stuff. Right. Yeah. And to me, race motors is the fun stuff. Like, I mean, if you're doing diesel motor repair for the city of Tustin or something, maybe the economy's not going to affect you. But you guys are doing drag boats and drag cars and drag queens and everything. I'm just looking at the pictures here.
I think
you
that
think people's old ladies would be like, you're not getting that big block rebuilt this year. We'll wait till the kid gets the braces and then.
I know. I'll tell you how I skated through it. I've been hoarding parts for years. Hoarding parts. So
I think what I've seen in the last 3 years when the economy kind of tanked is we used to do a lot of new motors. Start from scratch. Everything's brand new. So you would be in the $20,000 to $30,000 range.
Right.
Since everything happened, we're into, okay, this is what I got. Let's make this the best you can to go between the $8,000 and the $12,000 range.
Right.
So we cut that in half.
And I'm seeing, I think exclusively V configurations here.
Right.
Any import stuff?
We do a little bit of import stuff just because it's, it's more
European
business. I'm not
stuff?
turning anything down. We did
Sure.
some BMW stuff and Mitsubishi. The import stuff's still pretty strong.
Who's easy and who's a pain in the ass? I don't mean as a human being, but I just mean like when you're doing a Chevy small block, that must be just as straightforward,
Pretty basic
easy
stuff,
as it goes.
yeah.
Is BMW more difficult than, I don't know, a straight Mercedes or a Datsun
That stuff's
inline
hard.
motor?
The problem is the parts are harder to get for those motors. Like I can call almost anybody and get parts for a small block Chevy.
Right.
You can't call anybody and get parts for a BMW or Mercedes or Lamborghini or something like that.
he's edging towards the Lamborghini work. Is where I'm
Well,
hearing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I got some
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini heads over there. And
Oh, do you?
We're starting to do some work on that, but I mean, it's impossible to get any parts. I mean, you're waiting months to get any kind of parts from them.
What did the heads come off of?
I'm not sure what the vehicle
Gallardo?
was,
V10?
Well, I'm seeing a 6. So
but it
must
is a
be
V10. It is a V10.
Oh, it's V10.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it must be. Well, that's an Audi motor, isn't it?
I thought it was like VW Audi. We were
It's
talking
got a
earlier.
Lamborghini tag on
Yeah,
it.
well,
so-
you know.
Yeah, but that's
You know.
Audi. That's
They shipped the parts from Germany to Italy to here.
Right, that's the
Right.
problem with getting the parts for that. So that's going to jam us up, and the customer's aware for it. So
Sure.
there's nothing I can do. He's supplying all the parts. He goes, I got it in. I can get the parts.
It's crazy
Problem
how
is,
small
you can't get the
pistons
parts.
are.
Oh yeah. But you got 10 of them.
Yeah.
So you got that going for you.
Imagine how small. Imagine some of those, because I'm looking here at like the bore of this V8. How many cubic inches is this thing going to end up?
This one's
at?
400 inches.
Imagine the old Ferraris with 3-liter and even 2.5 probably, but like 3-liter V12s.
Oh yeah.
I mean, imagine how small the 180 cubic inch 12-cylinder
Oh, the pistons are
pistons
tiny.
had to be tiny.
They sound good, though. That's the zing.
Hey, you get
Yeah,
a little
well,
more
it's RPM,
a little more RPM.
This
out
motor
of it.
here actually is an Australian Pro Stock motor. This thing actually turns 10,600 RPM.
Really?
Makes 1,100 horsepower.
Wow.
Pretty stout.
On the NOS?
No, straight all motor.
Really?
All motor. Normally aspirated.
So, shall we take a look at Sandy's motor and what
Sure.
what we're doing to it? And
Yes,
you,
sir.
You can tell us what was wrong. What he
The
did
wrong
wrong
was
to his
the
motor?
installation.
Damn, that hurts.
This was a lot of parts that Sandy brought me, and we kind of massaged a little bit and made this one engine out of it, out of all the parts he supplied. And the last time we ran it, I mean, everything was perfect, but I think there's some misalignment. What happened, the reason it came back is he thought we'd kicked the rods out of it. And what it was...
Common occurrence, apparently, yeah.
Sure. Common occurrence, but because he said that there was smoke, breather smoke. What it was doing is there's no alignment between the clutch shaft and the back of the crankshaft, so it was trying to push the crank forward through the motor. So it was burning up the thrust bearing, and that makes it smoke, and that's what all the material was. Because when I pulled it all apart, I said, everything's great.
Right.
So
I heard them. I go. All I saw was the cash register sign going from like the big bubble over my head to just a small and mid-level.
Which is better because I went from I'm not charging him to now I'm charging him.
Right, because it's his fault.
Yeah, you did it. But
installation error.
That's okay, but we don't.
I was telling it. Use a pro.
But they cover it here at QMP, as far as I heard. You know, they're customer centric.
The crank. So now, how do you avoid that this time around? Then,
well, he's going to bring me all the parts, and I'm going to mock it up for him to make sure we have play there.
You got the gearbox, and what we'll do is put it together.
A lot of people, because when you're dealing with, this is not a factory car. Didn't have this motor and training and stuff in it.
Sure.
So we got this motor and this crank we bought from somewhere, the training we bought from somewhere, bell housing we bought from somewhere. But when you put it all together, when you're bolting it together laying underneath the car, it's really hard to tell that you're off 20, 30 thousandths.
Right.
Just enough.
You just tighten the bolts up, and don't get me wrong, Sandy. I mean, it happens with everybody. It's more than one person. It ain't the first time that's happened.
It went through. When I mocked it up, I had it on the ground on the hoist and put it all together, and it. You wouldn't have known.
But you wouldn't even know.
No,
you wouldn't even know.
Now, what do we need to do to avoid this time around other than you doing it? Well, I mean, is there a part that's missing? I mean,
the easiest way we do it, believe it or not, it's pretty primitive, but I just put a piece of clay on the end of the shaft of the tranny, bolt it all together, then pull it all back apart, and make sure I got space.
You ever blown one up in here?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
It made a mess.
It did?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
We were building a big block Chevy, and we put it down. We made a bunch of runs on it. I think this was about the fourth pull. And we just started to put it down, and it just kind of shook, and then just poof. I mean, it just blew the rods right out the bottom.
It's a little bit hairy, is it not?
Yeah, because I had one really explode, not here, but at Lambex, and the whole room caught on fire. I mean, it was pretty scary.
Is that why they have the glass with the stainless wire?
Yeah, but if you really think about it, that wall is meaningless. It blows up this way.
Right.
Or it actually, luckily, usually goes down.
Yeah, it's scary. In the wheel, the rear end dynos are scary too. It feels like something.
It feels like the car's going to come off sometimes. I mean, you got them all strapped on. It's a mess. But yeah, we killed one before, and it's not a good feeling.
How's that call we made to the customer? Like, hey,
he was here.
Oh, he was here.
He was here, and he's like, I'm all right with it.
The guy pays you to build a motor. It blows up on the dyno. Obviously, he doesn't want to pay you then at that point. It could be something that you did, but also could be a part that was supplied to you.
We took it apart, and we saw that the rod bolt broke in half. Okay, so I got the manufacturer of rods to step up and say, look, your rod bolt failed, and this is what happened, so this is what's going to cost to fix it. And they stepped up. They said, okay.
Wow.
Oh, really? What kind of compression were we running here?
This one is what, 12 to 1?
A little over 12 to 1. I think I think with these heads, right in that range. Yeah. I think the limiter that we're going to find, and you did the last motor, which ended up having about 10.5 to 1 with flat tops, and it made almost as much power with a better ported version of these heads. So these heads are, I don't know why they keep making it back into production. They had a leak. They had to pull it down. You've had to tear this motor down a bunch of times.
Yeah, weld the heads up. I mean, you can see these valve covers been through hell.
All right, well, let's clear out. And where's the fire extinguishers in case
we usually don't need them.
I usually do these with a blower bag on my head. So if I could have a blower bag. So the water.
It's water's in that tank.
Right. Starter, obviously.
Starter's on the dyno.
Sure.
We measure O2 sensors. We have fuel flow meters going in. We have a whole weather station that tells you barometric pressure, everything.
So Ganz, the front of that motor has your crazy water pump alternator combo, which is
it's nice for the dyno guys. They don't have to do any hooking up stuff.
Warranty's over.
he just do there?
I think he's just getting it hot, and then it looked like he's going to adjust the timing and dial the last bits of it in and then hammer it.
Here we are in the machine part of the shop. Here.
One of the many machine parts.
One of the many, but this is where
where the high dollar stuff is.
Real high end stuff takes place. You know, one of the interesting things that this reminded me of when I was looking around in here, and if you know your history, somewhere after World War II, there was a sort of race to see who could make the first jet or first sort of effective jet engine, and the British were making a fine jet engine. And the Russians were blowing up their jet engines, like a lot of impellers blowing up, metallurgy problems, you know. And they essentially, because the Russians and the British were sort of like, we're cool. We just got done beating the Krauts, you know. And the Russians were like, how about we come over and check out one of your plants and see how these engines are made? Just take a look-see. And they told the guys, wear soft shoes, soft, gummy shoes, like wear those soft, and he said, stand, go off, check out where they're doing the lathing and doing the work, and stand in it and get some of that stuff sucked up into the bottom of your gummy
So you can bring it home and check it?
Bring it home and check it and see what it is. But then you think about it,
sure.
Cunning.
20 years later, they're building MiGs and they're kicking the shit out of us over Vietnam. I mean, and Korea. I mean, if you think about that, we gave them, and when I say we, I mean the Brits, they essentially gave them that technology, because think about what you're asking that jet engine to do.
Right.
Think about what you're asking those alloys to do, and things are blowing up. And
if you don't have a handle on what kind of material to have, and now you got that for free.
Well, we'll be sweeping our feet before we leave here. Is that the moral of the story?
I can't let you guys go with your shoes now.
You can't just a pair of hotel slipper flip-flops?
Yeah, be like the world's shittiest spa. Yeah. All right, I got to get out of here. I got to call a couple of radio stations. Sandy, you're going to hang back and watch your motor blow up?
We're going to watch that pull about, what, 320?
320 maybe.
320 horse?
I'm excited. And
beautiful.
You do 12-cylinder vehicles too?
Sure, we do anything.
Sure. All right. Well, I'll bring mine by
you.
next time I blow it up, Ganz.
For sure.
All right,
Go sick. Let's not fuck this up.
Give us a little overview of what's going on, what your dyno procedure is here to jump in, and so people know what we're trying to do.
Okay, well, pretty much dynoing, we're correctly in a controlled environment. We're breaking the motor in, running it, testing it. What we're about to start doing, tuning it. Everything so when you get it in the car,
Drop and go.
It's making the same torque. It's making actually a little bit less power, but we haven't done anything to it yet. I haven't set the timing for final. I'll have to see like where we ran it before and everything. I just kind of took a guess. We haven't gone through the valves. We haven't done anything yet. So
first cut, it's making a little over what, five.
At 6,500, it's 528 horsepower. And I think before we were about 535, so it's about 8 horsepower down, which is not much to talk about. And for sure, I didn't run the alternator deal last time because it's freshly built. It was built when it was cold in a cold room, all that stuff. Now we got some heat. We got a couple pulls. Everything's moved around, contracted, expanded, done everything it wants to do. And now we'll go through the valves to see if anything's moved or anything. We're just kind of going through, checking everything.
I have an interesting question. Are titanium valves more sensitive to adjustment than the stainless?
I don't think so.
Not that this motor would have titanium valves because that's a high dollar item.
I don't think it is more sensitive, but mainly having an aluminum block and aluminum heads.
Everything
is moving around a lot when it's all aluminum. The less aluminum you have, the less you have to adjust them. The more aluminum you got, the more you have to adjust them. So that's pretty much what we're going to do now. Is kind of go through. Luckily, this time I had them already set, or we had it.
A metal?
No metals. Besides all the nicks in the valve covers, they must be flat.
I think the rails are still flat. The tops have been shot peened by the push rods at one
Yeah.
point. That was a different brand of shaft rocker, by the way. So these have not failed, and I don't expect them to.
I'm just gonna try one thing. I'm gonna try putting a little fuel in it. See what it does.
Is it still lean at the top?
I think it's a little lean, and it could just be. I could just be. You know, the problem is this number. This number also gives you a calculation of how
efficient.
Exactly. So if the motor's not quite really efficient, this number will show me that it's richer. So it could be kind of a false number, but I think it's worth a gamble. I'll put a little fuel in it. I went up 4 numbers in the front and the back because I always like exactly to avoid this, because I always want to see it change. I don't care if it's good or it's bad. I want to see it change, and it really didn't change.
It's so perfectly tuned. You're right in the sweet spot.
455.9 foot-pounds of torque to 456.4.
So maybe a little bit.
Peak number, you know. 563.6 to 562.4. I mean, it's so like 1 horsepower could be. I could make another pull right now
and lose the horsepower.
It wouldn't be the same.
I think we've beat this thing up pretty good today. Not too much different than the first time. A couple more horsepower, fattening up a little bit on the jet side. Other than that, pretty consistent.
Pretty straightforward. Everything went good. Everything went as planned. We actually, I think 2 things that helped us out a little bit. Definitely anytime you put fuel in it, you know, technically it is making more power. So I think we are making a little bit more, not much.
The job that you did is excellent. I know that you found a couple more horsepower in here for it, and really it made 564 at 7,000. It probably top out of around 570 at 7,500.
Right.
So all in all, I'm happy. That's around where we targeted the first time, and I think we're back on track. We'll get the transmission
all sorted out, get everything done, and
back on the road.
Racing.
Solid dyno run. Mike did an awesome job, by the way.
Yeah, he's real good at that now.
Found a few more horsepower since the last time. Everything looked ran great, looked great.
Beautiful.
And don't bring him any more work till my shit's done because I need to get it out of here. But after that, load him up. Does a great job.
Yeah, we'll get it done. We're busy right now, but it's good.
Throw out your website, by the way.
QMPRacing.com.
All right, Brad. Thank you. Appreciate all the hard work you guys do.
You got it, man. Anytime.
He's a really nice guy. I think the shafts were a little thin compared to what these were.
Right.
And that's what would split down the middle. Keep my hand off of there.
Don't touch anything now.